Hello, 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 hello. My name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel, Cool Claire ASMR. So, for today's video, I have an updated record collection for you. But before we get started, I wanted to show you some flowers I bought because it is spring currently as I am filming this, and I think it's just lovely to celebrate natural beauty, especially in a relaxing setting. But I've had these for about a week, so they are starting to dry up a little bit. You can hear a nice crunchy leaf here. It's got a nice crunch to it though. But let's see, I have these flowers. I'm not sure what any kind is, so if you know, you can share with everybody. I have these nice yellow ones, And then why I bought this specific bouquet, because I got this at the grocery store and it was like, just because bouquets. So I got one just because. I got it because of this purpley pink flower here. Is that a mum? I think that might be a mum. And then we got these lightly dusted with pink and white as well. But anyway, I just have them in this nice mason jar, and they're still going pretty strong for being a week old. Alrighty. Thanks for letting me share that with you. Now, let's get to the main event, my updated records. So, about 2 years ago now, I posted a record collection video, which I will put a link to if you haven't seen it. And now I've accumulated a few more records, and I thought you might like to see. So for the first one, I actually bought this only for the cover. So as you can see, it has a vintage doctor and nurse on the cover. Got the little, I don't know what this is called, the little head reflector. And then she has the nurse's cap. And they're both wearing white, which is very traditional in the healthcare field, and a tie. And he has a little tobacco pipe in his hand. And if you don't know, I am a nurse, so that's why I liked this one in particular. And it was also like $2, so I just decided to get it because it's fun and it didn't cost that much either. But what this record actually isn't music. It is recorded like comedy that aired on the radio. So it's Nichols, so that's him there, and Elaine May. Examine Doctors. So on the back here, it says, Mike Nichols and Elaine May Examine Doctors is an outgrowth of their weekly appearance on NBC Radio's Monitor show. All the episodes heard here originally aired on Monitor broadcasts, with the exception of Nichols and May at work. This is an unedited tape of a Monitor work session with all the ideas and situations occurring spontaneously and the dialogue entirely improvised. It is quite typical of the manner in which they work. Editing is done later to eliminate the breakups and pull together the scenes. So, stream of consciousness, improv comedy from a radio recording. And I will be honest, I have not listened to all of this, but I did listen to some of it. And I guess when I listened, I didn't realize that it was improvised, because I was like, this isn't that good. But now with that new perspective, they did a pretty good job. I still want to listen to the rest of it. But anyway, the one that I listened to was Calling Dr. Marks, or that I remember from all of them. I listened to like 3 of them, and they're each a couple minutes long. But the one that I listened to was called Calling Dr. Marks, and it was basically like a concerned wife of her husband who had some sort of infection, and she just kept being like, he has a fever that's like super high, and like just kept like saying all this crazy stuff, like he was obviously very sick, and the doctor's just like, oh no, he can just take the antibiotics, it's fine. Oh no, maybe I should see him. So I thought that was kind of funny. Do you like the nail taps or finger taps? I think they're both nice. But yeah, I just really like this cover, so honestly I want to frame this and hang it up on my wall more than anything. But I do need to listen to all of it before I do that. Alright, I'm going to set this down here. Okay, so for the next one is one of my favorite records from when I was a teenager. And that's probably why I have it twice here. It is the Front Bottoms self-titled album. In my last one I showed a Front Bottoms album, but I had since purchased this. And I think in 2022 this album had its 10-year anniversary. So the lead, there's 2 people in the band, and so one is on the front, and the other's on the back. And I've always quite liked the style of the art on this cover. I like the purple and the shading and the way that there's these little lines here. I actually drew this cover back in the day, and we got this red stripe and all these stripes going down. So this is one that opens up. So it opens up like that. And it has the singer who is on the front, Brian, and the drummer who is on the back. I believe his name is Matt. Forgive me if I'm misremembering. I'm like, let me look at the track list. So let's see, my favorite from this, honestly, like I quite like all these songs. That's why it's one of my most listened to albums. But I would say Legit, Tattoo Gun, which is literally the last song on this record, is my favorite Front Bottom song in general. I also like Flashlight, Maps, Swimming Pool. They're all good. This is like that, you know, Midwest emo style when they're like sing-talking, if you've never listened to them before. And I would say it's definitely an acquired taste for sure, but for whatever reason I quite like it. So here's just the normal release of it. And then, like I said, I also have the special 10th anniversary edition. That one I ordered online, but this one I actually found in a record store the same day I bought that Examining Doctors one. So I thought this was really cool and worth getting because it's the record itself has the image on it, so it's just the cover. But I thought it was really cool. And it just says the Front Bottom Special 10th Anniversary Edition. And yes, this confirms his name is Matt because it says Brian's side and Matt's side there. Can make some noises with the plastic there. and I'll take it out and show you if I can get it out there. Okay. So there's that. Try not to get the reflection of the window too much. And I don't want to touch this too much either because it's not good for it, but I just thought that was really cool. Another one more so for display than like actually listening to it, but one of my favorite bands of all time, so I definitely had to pick it up when I saw it. Alrighty. Next is a artist that I found within the last couple of years that I have really been enjoying. Samia, I think is how you say it actually. And this is her most recent album, Honey. And she's actually the daughter of an actress, I believe. I don't remember her name, but she plays one of the witches in Hocus Pocus. This is her daughter, Samia. And I love the I don't know, melancholy vibe of this album cover. It has this nice, dreamy blue tone that's lighter at the bottom and top that frames this portrait of her nicely. And she's looking over her shoulder like this. I think because one of my favorite things to draw is portraits of female faces specifically, so I find this cover really beautiful. And I actually have used a picture of her as a reference before, so that's probably why. On the back it has the track list in the same blue gradient. So let's see. I have listened to this one the most out of, I think, all of the ones that I'm showing you today, at least on vinyl. And my favorites from this record are the first track, Kill Her Freak Out, and it's very sad and slow, but the theme of it, I don't know, I just relate to it. And then Mad at Me is also one of my favorites. Amelia, Breathing Song, which is a very emotional song about a miscarriage and also sexual assault, I believe. Not relaxing topics, so I'm sorry to bring it up, but it is a really good song. So I recommend listening to Breathing Song by Samia. And then the title track, Honey, is really good too. And she just kind of repeats the phrase, it's all honey, honey, it's all honey. And I don't know, the whole vibe of this is very sad, but there's some more upbeat ones and I really enjoy it. Especially Mad at Me is very fun and upbeat, even though she's asking the subject of the song, are you still mad at me? I don't really care though. So I like that. And here's the insert, also very pretty picture of her in the water. Next, I have maybe one of the most anticipated recent releases, at least for fans of pop punk and rock and all those good things. I have Paramore's This Is Why, their latest release, and I pre-ordered this last year, so I kind of forgot that I got it, and when it showed up I was like, but anyway, on the cover here we have the band, and they're smushing their faces against I don't know, like glass, I would assume. And it has like some moisture on it, which I think is an interesting aesthetic for this album. But I do like it has all the bandmates on it. And then on the back is the imprint left by Haley's makeup on the glass. And I feel like it kind of looks like a heart a little bit. You can see her lips, like the side of her face there. But this album is really, really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I know as Paramore has evolved and changed, people are like, I don't know, really tough on them for changing their sound, but I think it's really great that they're always innovating, and I feel like this album has a nice blend of all the styles and previous influences they've experimented with, so it really is like some look how far we've come in our sound sort of like piece of work, I would say. And of course this is their first album in quite a few years, so I think it was worth the wait. And I am seeing them live this year, so I'm so excited to see them perform oldies and these new ones. So I would say my favorite from this, I mean, there are 3 big singles. This Is Why the News, C'est Comme Ça, or I guess it's 4, Running Out of Time, are all really good. But from the ones that weren't singles, I would say You First is good. Crave is one of my favorites. And I like the hook of Big Man Little Dignity. Again, it's like I like all the songs on most of the records I get. That's why I choose to get them on vinyl, but of course this one was a toss-up since I pre-ordered it, but it turned out that I like to listen to it all the way through. Made in Italy. Alrighty. Next I have a record from a smaller band again. This is House of Harm, and the record is called Vicious Pastimes. And this cover is pretty cool as well. It reminds me of the trend that it's like anything can be an album cover that was going on TikTok. And I don't even have TikTok, and I saw those videos on Instagram. But anyway, because it's kind of blurry and it just reminds me of those videos. It'd be like someone moving around and be like, yes, that's a cool album cover. But anyway, it's the members of the band in this pinkish red hue, and they're all in shadow. These two huddled together, and then this person that's noticeably lighter, has light shining on them, is kind of off to the side here. And then on the back we have another image of the band, and they're casting shadows. And then we have the track list here. So my favorite song is Isolator, which is the first track. And it was my most listened to song last year. And it just has this kind of like, their music is kind of, I guess, like dark wave, like, but it's like upbeat dance. I forget what the genre is called, but I think dark wave is a decent descriptor. But anyway, all these songs are really good. The first song I heard from them, like I would say maybe a year before I really explored their discography more, or, you know, I don't know if it was a year, but anyway, before I found Isolator, I actually found the song Vicious Pastimes, the title track of this record, and it was one that came up in my Spotify, Discovery Weekly, which is how I find a lot of good little bands. But anyway, I found that, I liked it, didn't really explore their music more, and then Isolator was recommended later, and I was like, hey, this is the same band and this song is so good. So I actually went through a phase where I was just listening to them, and all these are really good. I would say my other favorites from this record specifically are Catch and Always. I also like Coming of Age, but Isolator for sure is my favorite. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking them out. Alright, and it's just a clear record in there. But it is unfortunate because it is this clear, kind of lighter, plasticky kind of record. It is warped, and the first song, Isolator, my favorite, skips. And it's so disappointing. So if you have a recommendation on how I can get it to not skip, please feel free to comment. Alright, I have one last thing to show you, and it is not a record. It's actually this Keith Haring record mat, or turntable mat. It is called a record mat, there we go. And also, if you don't know, Keith Haring is my favorite artist, so when I saw this I was super excited about it, but it's kind of too big for my record player because it's more like for DJs, and they're like big like records with the two. But anyway, it still works. Obviously, I just can't leave it on my player all the time because I can't shut it with it on there. But when I listen to records, I put it on, and it has all his little designs on it. And they had quite a few different colors, but I like the contrast of the yellow and blue. But we have this little face and the robot. And I just thought this could make some interesting sounds. And because I can't leave it on my player, I keep it in the package it came in, which also has some nice designs on it, which it's really reflecting, but I like this one. Pretty cool. Alright, I just wanted to show you that because it's quite enjoyable to me and part of my record collecting experience here. So that is everything I have to show you today. Comment below if you like any of these records or whatever, just say hey. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, good night, good night.